Hi, this is John. I want to make some comments about Oklahoma. I'm not happy at all with this season, as many of you guys are, I'm sure. We're 5-5, and that's not good. I think the Brent Venables, Jeff Lebby situation is very unhealthy at this point and not great. Okay, and I don't know that we can be. I don't know. I'm not necessarily saying we should fire Venables, but I don't think Lebby is the answer. The outing against West Virginia was terrible, and the play calling is terrible. And frankly, no personal offense to Dylan, but he's not a great quarterback. Not super accurate. And frankly, Marvin Mims is not playing very well. He hasn't all year. His head doesn't seem to be in the game. But look, I mentioned this in my last video a while back after the Texas game that what the tone that was set early on with Venables bowing to the woke mob and getting rid and basically pushing out Kel Gundy made me very upset. Didn't like that at all. And I just feel like Brent Venables is too into relational things with his players and loving them so much. Nothing wrong with that, but this is not a, this is not a counseling camp. This is a football team with a lot of tradition, and we need to be about being great football players and let the situations with relationships happen. Not, you can't coddle these people. They're young men. They're men. They don't need to be coddled. Some other extraneous things. But I will tell you this: that the situation with TCU was and Texas was absolutely inexcusable, and frankly, I think that Venables could and should have possibly been close to being fired after the Texas game. The fact that he kept Bevel in there as long as he did was absolutely terrible. We just lost to West Virginia. Isn't that wonderful? Well, I tell you what the West Virginia coach did in the first quarter when JT Daniels was not playing well. He put in his backup. That was with plenty of time left to go in the first quarter. Why didn't Venables do that? Why didn't Lebby demand that? We have three good backup quarterbacks. I don't know much about this Micah Bowens, but what video I've seen of him, he is very good. General Booty and Nick Evers, these three are better than Bevel. I'm just not happy with it all, and it's inexcusable that he didn't put in a better another player and to see if we could do better. That is inexcusable administration of a football team. Another thing I want to say is I did not like the Unity uniforms at all. Okay, I like the color scheme, okay, but I didn't like what they were trying to do there. Okay, I'm sick of this woke mob, this politically correct mob that's trying to drive so much of university athletics, etc. And that is that by saying, "Oh, we need unity uniforms," kind of implies that we have a problem with unity, and we don't. Okay, Barry Switzer, who I greatly admire, grew up loving him. He was the back in the early '70s. He was the black white thing was never an issue at OU, certainly from the late '60s on and early '70s. Barry Switzer is the king of a colorblind, great football team and locker room and culture. And to put that unity thing, I didn't like it at all when Lincoln Riley had them march in some Black Lives Matter thing as well, because that's communist crap, and we shouldn't be anything to do with that. But I will tell you that putting this unity thing implies we have a problem with unity or black players are not getting their due. Forget that. That's all garbage. We don't need that. That is bowing to that ethic, and I don't like it. Has no place on a football team or a football culture, especially with the storied history of Oklahoma and what Barry Switzer built with his black and white players. They had the best thing going back then, and their culture was absolutely fantastic with Joe Washington, Greg Pruitt, Steve Owens, Joe Wiley, Steve Davis, Thomas Lott, Billy Sims, David Overstreet, Elvis Peacock. I could go on and on and on. What an amazing history. What an amazing coach. I'm going to cut this off. I think that the situation is terrible with the coaching. Jeff Lebby is overrated. He is not a good offensive coordinator. Sorry, he's not. Brent Venables, great assistant, great D coordinator. not a great head coach. I don't anticipate things are going to get much better next year. We are sliding into mediocrity, and we can do better, much better, and we have to, and we should. My concern is that the pride of Joe Castiglione is going to get in the way. Like, oh, I made a mistake. I can't, I need, and he won't do what is needed to be done for the good of the program and the future of the program. Um, I hesitate to recommend firing Venables after this year, but if we go 5-7, I think it should be looked at. But I think Lebby should be gone. And I think Ted Roof is a joke as a D coordinator, whatever his title is. The defense playing absolutely terrible. We got problems here. So I think what we should do is consider getting rid of him. And I think Castiglione and these other guys may want to save face, give him another year. Well, maybe give him one more year, but I don't expect much to change. And I want to say this, and that is that I don't want to hear any excuses about rebuilding, any of that stuff. Look at what some of these get. When I heard Sonny Dykes was a possibility at OU, I didn't want him. I didn't know much about him, but I didn't want him. Boy, I wish we would have hired Sonny Dykes. Yes, I do. How about Brian Kelly, what he's doing at LSU? And how he had to rebuild, playing very good ball down there. How about the coach at Oregon, the D coordinator at Georgia? He's done tremendous. Dan, somebody. There's just these first year coaches, Notre Dame coaches, they're doing really good. There's no excuses for Venables, none at all. We didn't lose that many people. We need to expect much more. And I think the OU fans need to, he's a favored son, Venables is. People like him, they want him to do well, but we got to be objective too, and we got to look at historical patterns here. We are terrible. We played absolutely terrible against West Virginia. But the Texas game was inexcusable that they didn't bring in the backup quarterback near the end of the first quarter and try different things. Absolutely inexcusable, fireable offenses. I'm going to get off this for now, but let me know what you think. Take care.